Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I'm taking you with me to Wales. So there's some video about Wales, there's some crafting and then a little bit of tarot talk. But before we start, I just want to show you these beautiful tarot bags. This was created by my sister, Diane, who has made me this lovely pouch that fastens with these two lovely buttons that was sewn on by my mother. Spot the mistake. They're upside down. She's calling me a rotten bugger. But to me, that gives them character. Hearts on their heads. So this is holding my Tarot Illuminati at the moment. And it's an absolutely beautiful little tarot bag. And I think the stitch is called a treble, a triple, a treble. What's it called, Di? Treble. A treble. And there you go. That's the tarot pouch open. Isn't that just gorgeous? The second one she's made me wraps closed and has a little bit of a reading cloth with it. And this is a different crochet stitch again. And there we have the tarot pouch. It looks blue on the camera, but it's actually a sort of greeny teal colour. And she's making me a lovely mustard coloured one too. So I'm really delighted. So without saying any more, oh, here's the colour. That's the next one. And look, it's a different pattern too. 3 tarot bags, 3 different patterns, all created by my sister and with great input from Mum too. Love you. See you soon. Enjoy the video. Bye. Hello and welcome to Wales. I'm here in my dad's garden shed. My mum and sister and nephew cleaned it all out. And today I'm going to be using it to finish off a project that I started for my mum and my dad a couple of years ago. But actually I think it was after my dad died, so it'll be a couple of years ago. So I've decided to finish it and let you join me on that project, and I'll show you what it is. I'm just setting up my work area. Right, let's see. This is a piece of slate that I created a paw painting on it, and this moon and the star, that's my dad's star, actually glows in the dark. So this is acrylic paint that has been used to create this paw painting. So if I bring it close, you can see all the cells, and the effect that it's had on the slate. Okay, it's just a roof tile, okay? So this is going to go in an area that my mum has created for her to sit in down in the garden. Today though, I had created one for my sister and one for my brother, but my sister put hers outside, and although I had coated it in a varnish, it didn't withstand the weather. So when they say that those all-weather varnishes work, they actually don't. So I'm going to coat this in resin to give it that solid, shiny look and to stop it getting weather worn. Oh, the shed's gone dark. Hold on. There we go, just needs to prop the door open. So yes, Mum's given me permission to work in my dad's shed to do the resin while Mum goes off and busies herself during this morning. So yes, as I said, I'm here in Wales. It's been, goodness, a year since I was able to get over here. And I'm now able to spend some time with my family over here, which is great. and I shall be heading back to Ireland shortly, back home to my family. And I've had a remarkable time. It's brilliant. We've been to some lovely places, and I've had the photos here too, so I can share with you where I've been. So let's get on, shall we? So the resin I'm using is epoxy resin. Okay, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Now you do get epoxy resins where it could be a 2-to-1 or 5-to-1, etc. Ratio, but this is a 1-to-1 ratio. So if you're using 10 mils of hardener, you use 10 mils of epoxy resin. It's this is going to be left in the shed to dry. Believe you me, I'm so glad I'm using it in here, because it's something that you really don't want to get caught on your work surfaces, because it's damn near impossible to get off. So let's have a look. I've used tin foil underneath here because I'm going to be turning the sides up to try and stop the resin running off. Because what I will do around here, this will no doubt be left with a little bit of resin hanging off, so I'll be able to file that off. Now, when doing anything with resin, always remember you have to wear gloves, because it's not great for your skin. So when you order little kits like this, it comes with the gloves and the mixers. It also comes with measuring cups, which I didn't realise. So let's open this now. We have part A, which is the resin. Okay, that's the resin there. And we have part B, which is the hardener. Okay, so we use these little sticks, lollipop sticks, to mix it. Now usually I would use a torch that I have, like a chef's torch for flambeing, to remove air bubbles once I've poured the resin. But the way to go at the moment, I think, that can on occasion create little waves that might not be seen with the eye until it's dried. So I'm going to have a go at just using toothpicks, which I have here, to burst any air bubbles that I come across. So I'm going to use one of those cups. I won't need to use those measuring cups there, because this comes with the set. And I'm going to struggle getting these gloves on, because these gloves, more often than not, are far too small for my rather large hands. There we go. Now when you have your resin, I'm going to pour the resin into this little red receptacle here once I have poured it into these measuring cups. What you do is mix it for 3 to 5 minutes so that it's well and truly mixed. The hardener and the resin is, mixed properly. Let's have a look here to make sure. Now, so these are the little measuring cups I have here, and I'm going to use, I think I might use 30 mils of each. So this is the hardener. Try not to get it dripping down the sides, because it can be very sticky to deal with. All right, we go 30 mil here. Whoops. There we are. Take that off there. Seal that over. We're going to be travelling back to Ireland with me, and we don't want any spillage. Now that would be a disaster. And oh, this one's a more difficult to get off. There we go. Woo. And this is the resin. Now this resin is a little gloopy. Okay, so be careful when pouring it, because what can happen, this resin's actually got lumps in it. You can end up with it pouring too much over the top. Now I did go slightly over the 30 mil. All right, okay. It's like pouring honey. replace the caps, and that can go away. Now each resin set that you get, some resins advise you to mix it one way or another, so I always go by the manufacturer's instructions. Okay. Now, I'm not going to be adding any dyes to this because I want it to clear. So we're going to take part B, which was the hardener, and we're going to pour that into here. Now, a lot of it does remain in the cup, so this is where you get your lollipop stick and you remove it from the cup because there's a lot of residue, and even leaving this little bit in can affect the setting, because if the settings aren't, if the amounts aren't right and you haven't got your exact 1-to-1, it either it doesn't set properly, it remains sticky, and it's not easy to handle. You leave fingerprints all over work, etc. So that's about that. I'll leave that to stand, and if any more runs to the bottom we will grab that. And now we're going to take the resin and add this as well. And I've brought a set of tarot cards into the shed with me as well. When we've done this, you might just pull a couple of cards for advice for the day. We've been on some lovely outings. We were up at Jackson's nursery yesterday, and we were at Greich Castle the day before. Yeah, yesterday was Wednesday. Where else have we been? Just trying to think. Oh, we went to Greich Castle on Monday, Abercorn Mills on Tuesday, where I bought some lovely material to make a tarot reading cloth, but I also bought crocheting cottons because I wanted to crochet some tarot pouches for myself. But you see, crocheting and I and knitting and I are not necessarily best friends. So my sister kindly took my attempts, which I had pulled out and started again and again to the point I gave up. Now my sister's crocheting is remarkable, it's beautiful. So she is going to be, she took it home with her last night. So I've got a funny feeling I could have a tarot pouch today. And if I do, I'll photograph it and pop it on with this video when I post it up. So this is mixing. Now, I'm not too happy with this particular resin because the actual resin itself looks very, in here, looks as though it's been lying on a shelf and it's sort of set lumpy. So I'm going to keep that standing up and hopefully it'll all go down to the bottom of the bottle. You want the hardener and the resin to be clear. And like I say, you have to mix for 3 to 5 minutes for it to be fully mixed. Try not mix too vigorously, otherwise you get large air bubbles in it. And this is where I could do with my torch because I don't want air bubbles on this at all. I am going to pop that there for a minute to move that out of your way. And let's start, shall we? I'm going to first fill in the area of the image. And then I'm spreading resin all over. Remember, resin is self-leveling, so it will find its level. Okay, now I'm actually going to be using my hands on this because I'm not, I'm going to be spreading it gently like this to give everywhere a lovely coating of resin, and if need be I will mix some more, but I have a good feeling that this is not, I'm not going to need too much because like I say, it's just, I'm just using it as a coating rather than having a complete glass front, so to speak. It's being used as a coating to seal it from bad weather. this resin to get everywhere. So like I say, resin being self-leveling, if you pour it thickly, it will come to a point where it spreads itself so that it levels itself right across a surface, and that's when it can run off a set surface. Now this will take, because it's only going to be a thin layer of resin, it will take about 24 hours to dry properly, and the longer you leave it the better, to be perfectly honest. But I'm doing it like this because A, I'm getting rid of all the bubbles doing this, simply because I'm spreading it as a sealant as opposed to a shiny glossy cover. If anybody out there wears glasses and has problems with them constantly slipping down regardless of how many times you've had them adjusted, tell me how you solve the problem. So as you can see here, this is going nice and smoothly, and on here I'm making sure that it's evenly spread and that it doesn't, there's not too much, because if you pour too much resin you're going to end up having a big overflow. And here we go, you can see for yourself that it's nice and shiny and glossy, and that's how it's going to dry. It'll be like a glass surface on the tile. So we can see already where it's self-leveling, it's dropping off onto the tin foil that I have beneath it. Like I say, always protect your work surfaces, because if you don't, then you're going to find yourself either replacing surfaces or having a problem having resin there for life, because it's solid. But it's I'm just checking this now. Excuse my head there in the camera. Yep, that is totally covered. And here the seagulls. We're close to the beach here, just like I live in Ireland. I don't think I could live anywhere without a beach. Now I'm checking the edges, because the edges of the slate are sort of rough, you know. I'm just ensuring that the sides are resined properly. Now the chances are I'll have to file some of this tin foil off once it's sealed, because the resin there will be a little bit of resin that gets underneath. It just seems to get everywhere. It's a nightmare at times, but it's great to work with. So when this is dried, I'm going to close it over. I'm going to pop this like this, because even though we're in the shed, I don't just want to make a mess with resin on the floor. So tin foil is great because you can do that and raise the edges so that it doesn't spill. Pull that up like that. You can actually see the shine on it in the camera there. Hope you can see it as well as I'm seeing it. Now, what I don't want is for the resin to, for the tin foil to fall onto there. So luckily there won't be any winds in here. We're due some more dodgy weather. So there we go. That's that. I've no resin on my hands. For those of you who have watched some of my art things in the past will know that I make a hell of a mess. So I'm going to pop all this away. I'm going to pop these into the bag that they arrived in. Those sticks I'll take with me there. Now, is there any resin left in there that can be washed out? Only these two can be washed out because they have got a separate hardener and resin. Those two can go in the bin, those can go back into the house. I'm going to keep that standing because the resin itself is very chunky, but it's worked out nicely on here. Yeah, I am pleased. I'm just looking for any air bubbles. No, that's paint. Let me just get a toothpick. I see some air bubbles. Here's me, I've taken the gloves off and now I'm finding things I want to do. Okay. I love the cells that was created by the mixing of the acrylic paint with the pouring medium. I used gold to outline the silhouette, and I've used mica pigments to create the glow-in-the-dark moon and star, and that star is for my old fella, my dad. So there we go. Not too bad, eh? This is one of my tarot cloths from Peggy Pappas, who it's Sparks Creations on Etsy. She has some lovely bags and cloths available. So the deck I'm using is the RWS 2.0 by James Radcliffe. This accompanies me on my journeys. And here we are. It's nice to be able to show you the only thing my dad shared, but it's really, really nice to say welcome to Wales to all my Irish, American and UK followers. It's great. Nice to be able to share with you. So, now I'm hoping when I go back to Ireland my paradoxical deviant moon and the Black Enchantment Oracle decks have arrived. That's great. My plastic CS tower arrived just before I came over, so I haven't had time to do a review on that. So I'll do a review on that too when I'm back home. Oh, there's a card that floated off the top. Let's see what that says for us. Oh, Queen of Swords. Watch my words today. Now, are we ready? Ready, Freddy. I do tend to riffle shuffle about seven times. It's sort of a little thing I got into. I'm not sure how many times I've done it because I haven't been counting. So here we go. Let's cut the cards. And what I'm going to do now is pick out 3. 1. No, there's a card here I was drawn to, that one there. 2. And this one here, 3. So just some advice on the day. We haven't decided what we're doing today. Now, do you know something? This is quite a mixed bag. We have the Page of Wands. We have the Ten of Swords, and we have the 6 of Wands. And do you know, this really is almost like it's telling me what my day is going to be like, in the sense that the Page of Wands, I've brought over the resin. I don't usually do resin here, and I've got in touch with my creativity and getting back to the roots of what I like to do. It's not often I spend time being creative these days, because I do devote a lot of my time more to my tarot and tarot collection and my daily working and relationship with tarot. So and also, as you all know, I love going out on my bike rides too. But I need to get back to creativity, to finding the route, going back and enjoying it through almost childlike eyes, through getting back to finding peace and tranquility, because that's what I find happens when I'm creative, whether it be doing resin work, creating pour paintings, doing other paintings. Now Mum's coming to visit me and I have sets for her to try painting too. She doesn't know that yet, so that's going to come as something of a surprise. And then we have the Ten of Swords, and this is how we can be left to feel sometimes, because we do so much reminiscing about my father, his passing, etc., that albeit this is more like responsibilities and everything else, but this is, for me, it's emotional sort of, each of those swords is like an emotional, oh, because I do, when I'm with my family and we're here where, my mum and dad live, and my dad lived, and where I grew up, and it's the emotional ties and the sadness can sometimes be quite raw, and it does make you feel like you just, you can't do enough, because we have the wands either side of this. This is just saying that I could have a point in the day where I might feel a bit fed up, I might feel a bit low, but to pick myself up out of that. Don't let these emotions get me down. It's not what, and I know it's not what my dad would want, it's not what my family want, but I had to pick myself up from this and stop maudling, move on from it, pick myself up, get rid of those swords and get on with enjoying the successes of life. That once I pick myself out of the doldrums, that I will overcome it, and I will continue on, and I will be my usual self, coming here and creating some of the art that I've done this morning. And it wasn't so much creating as in completing and covering, but it's giving me that feel to get back in the seat of being crafty again. And like I say, there's the potential for the mood to get a little bit low, but I can overcome that. These two overshadow those Ten of Swords, and by the end of the day, I'm going to be on top of the world. I hope that reading resonated. If you feel that there was something different in there, please be kind and put constructive criticism in the comments below. It's lovely talking to you all. It's lovely touching base, and I shall be home soon, and when I am, it's back to deck reviews. And do you know something? I've been promising it, I've been saying it, I've been procrastinating. I might actually get down to doing a few lives. Take care, whatever you're doing today. I hope you're having a good one. Bye now.